welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the video. It's me, Jasmine the Buffet Witch, but you already know that. Let's play. We're going to be using some items from a brand I don't buy from very often. And yeah, I just want to get some videos recorded today, and this is going to be the first one. I'm going to start off with this Paw Paw lip balm. It's a scrub and balm duo, but I don't really like the balm or the scrub. I've used it once. I just use a warm towel. Get the cornflakes off, call it a day. Okay, so the scrub is going to be a no for me, dog. The balm is okay. It is very thick. I really prefer a balm with some type of minty quality to it. I just feel like, you know, that it's not even a placebo, like, oh, because it's minty you think it's doing something. It just feels nice, which is why I love my Medics from Blistex. But this is very thick and very balm-like. I wouldn't actually say it's more moisturizing than anything else. It's definitely not more moisturizing and like medicated than this is, but I have it. I do like the balm. We are going to use her just to marinate these lips whilst we play. So that is that. The brand that I am talking about, you can already tell from the title, is Miss Milani. I do not use a lot of Milani. I've always wanted to, but I never pulled the trigger. So whilst I was at the Walmarts with my husband last week or something, I decided, you know what, go ahead. I saw some things that were on clearance, and I was like, this is the perfect time to do it if we're going to do it. So, oh, that's a sticker from that liquid blush from Maybe Mitchell. I need that. Anyways, so we're gonna get started. I picked up the Skin Quench Hydrating Primer. I got this because I do have their No Pore Zone primer and I actually really like it, but I'm thinking it's about time for me to try some hydrating primers as well, because sometimes I get a little dry looking and sallow right in the middle of the forehead and a little bit sometimes on the cheek area, so I thought I would give this a try. I don't typically use primers when I'm just sitting and playing, but I do just want to see how this feels. So that's what we're going to do. I'm gonna put a little bit there, and mostly on the forehead area, okay, because that's where I feel like I have the most dryness. I did a little exfoliating yesterday, so we should have the bulk of the skin texture taken care of. Come on, hairs, get your lives together, okay? So that feels like lotion. So, but anyways, all right. So this is the Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. I picked up the shade Nutmeg. I do not know if this is the right color for me, but it was the closest one I could see from what was available. And then I did also pick up the Conceal and Perfect concealer in the shade Natural Sand. I do always like a lighter concealer, and I try to make sure that the concealer is neutral. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna pump a little bit of this out onto my little clear acrylic guy here. She is clean, but of course when I touch it with things on my hands. So I'm just gonna pump some of this out to see what the color looks like. Oh, that actually looks quite good. Right, let me grab my Ulta brush. I love these brushes. Let me just get this up out the way here. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and apply this to one side. We're a little, hold on, wait a minute before I say anything. Let's just blend her out. Because sometimes when you just put a glob on your skin, you're like, ugh, that's really orange. But then you blend it out and it's actually a really decent color. Okay, I likes it. Get that up out of the way here. Yeah, it's a decent color. It's got a little bit of gold in it. All right, what's happening with the light here? It's very overcast, but there's like a little gap of clouds right there, letting a little sun in. Okay, that's not a bad shade. The coverage looks about medium. I don't know what it claims to be. Medium to full coverage, lightweight, oil-free formula, long wear, and water resistant. Okay. It's a decent color. It's always nice when you can kind of eyeball a color in the store and it works. It's not something that a lot of people of color can easily do, because the undertones can be really quite tricky. You can look one way in the bottle and then be completely different once you get them on the skin. That's not to say people with light or medium skin don't experience the same thing, but there's just a larger range of shades for that skin, those skin ranges. So I feel like they have a little bit of an easier time and a little bit more wiggle room. Whereas for darker skin, they only give us a few shades. And even Milani, and honestly, that's why I don't really mess with Milani all that much. I just feel like a lot of the times the things that are available, if they have them for deep skin, they get discontinued very quickly, and or they are typically like online only. So that pisses me off, because I want to see it at least in store so I can try to gauge what's what before I purchase it, because I don't return things because they just go in the trash, you know. So at least I try not to return things. All right, that's a decent color. It's decent coverage. It does say medium to full, and I would agree that is a medium coverage. I swear, like mirrors. Well, my son had this one, so that's why this one's dirty. All right. I like it though. I definitely still could do some more exfoliation. I have dehydrated skin, guys. It's a upwards battle all the time. Coffee time. All right. Moving on to the concealer. Do I have any? All right, so yeah, that's a good color. I do like a brighter concealer. And the reason or another reason why I like a brighter concealer is because I'm typically using my Derma Blend Warm Saffron, and that is a deeper color, so it really kind of mutes the concealer shade that I'm using. So I don't ever feel like my concealer is super bright, because I've been using that white concealer with the NYX concealer that looks like a pump. It looks like a dupe of the Prolonged Wear concealer from MAC. I've been using that white concealer with that, and it still doesn't look super crazy, even though it's very bright when I apply it. I just have to get a triangle sponge, and then we can blend. All right, I'm back, and so is the sun. So we're just going to go ahead and blend this out. Looks like a quite thin formula, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do feel like a little bit of the coverage disappeared right on the inner part of where I started to blend first. So I might add a little bit more, but the color is really nice. I do like the colors of the two products, so that's awesome. There weren't any powders that I saw, so we're going to use my regular powders. I'm just going to add a little bit right there and right there. Yeah, so there were no powders, so we are going to go ahead and use the Warm Saffron, and I am going to use my Infallible and the little squanches, little bit of my I'm trying to get every little nook and cranny out of this baby before we get rid of her, because I want her to be empty when we empty her. Okay, so I'm just going to touch the edges of that concealer with my foundation brush. Make sure all of that is nicely blended. This is a really, really pretty foundation. And I know I am late to the everything. That's just how I function. But like I said, Milani honestly just kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth with the way, you know, the stores kind of stock their items. Now I know that some places it's by the demographic, you know, if it's a heavily, if it's an area where it's mostly Caucasian people, then maybe they're not going to stock all the dark colors. And if it's a more urban area, maybe they don't have a lot of the light colors. But I live in an area that's quite mixed. So oftentimes they might have some of the shades for darker skin, but most of it is online only, which is a pain in the, I was supposed to say the D-hole. It's a pain in the hoo-ha, okay? So I'm just gonna flip her little bra strap over. We're gonna go in with our warm Saffron, okay? So I'm gonna do the whole, you know, I'm gonna do, because I don't have any blush, contour, any of that stuff from this brand. I thought about getting the blushes. Remember their first blushes that had the like indent of the rose? Those are really beautiful. The highlighting, like, or the like luminous blushes like Luminoso, it was Luminoso, and then what was the rose color? Like the, I can't remember, but those were very popular when they came out. I did have those. I don't, like I said, Milani just ain't that chic for me. So I don't have anything else base wise from Milani. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do the rest of my base foundation or base makeup, and then I'll come back to you and we will do eyes, okay? Okay, so I'm back, I'm done. We've done the face powders, we've done the brows, and the lip is actually from Milani. This is one of their Stay Put matte lip crayons in the shade Rager, and it's just a really dark purple. I like that. I've been wearing super dark lips lately, and this is going to fit beautifully in the collection. I saw one of these, or I saw this, and I was like, you know what, let me try one of these, and this just felt like a color that I thought I would enjoy, seeing as how I've been wearing dark lips. So let's go ahead and play with this eyeshadow. So my favorite YouTuber, Emily Noel, raves about the Milani eyeshadow base. It is her favorite eyeshadow or primer, and eyeshadow primer, and I have tried it. This freaking little lashes. I've tried it and I wanted to like it, but it's very drying. At least it felt very dry on my skin, so I didn't even think about trying that. And I did try twice, and I just don't enjoy the way that that primer feels. So instead I'm going to go in with my Essence Prime Like a Boss primer. I really like this one. It has shea butter in it, so it's more slippy. It feels kind of like a silicone primer. Not that, I don't know that there is silicone in here, but it's just the feel. It feels a little hydrating, but it does dry down to a kind of nothingness feel on the skin. So I do enjoy using this sometimes when I want to use eyeshadows to see what they look like against my own skin tone, versus constantly using my beloved Juvia's Place Eye Prep by Prime in shade 2, which is the one that I typically use. So I did also pick up the Milani Luster Light palette. I picked this up because it reminds me a little bit of the Huda Beauty Dusk palette or something. I'll try to put a picture of that palette, and I have wanted to try the Amazon version of that palette that I have found. I'll try to put a picture of that as well, because I'm not really interested in buying Huda. I don't really have anything against the brand or the creator or anything. It's just oftentimes it just doesn't really appeal to me like I think it will, and then I get it and I'm like, oh, this is not all that special. And I've just never fallen into the hype of her palettes. I did when she had those little 9 pans, but I quickly decluttered all of those. So Huda Beauty is just not a brand I'm interested in, but I do like the color schemes. So I picked up this palette because it kind of reminded me of that palette. Not exactly, these are not dupes, I'm not claiming that they are, but it just kind of reminded me of that. And there's something in my eye, because of course there is, right? Of course. It's like the tiniest little eyelashes are just like, can I just sit in your lash line and just annoy you? Pretty please. Okay, so anyways, yeah. So this palette kind of reminded me of the other two palettes, and I just wanted to give them a try. So that is what we are going to do. All right, so again, my eyes are primed with the Essence. And we are going to do a quick little look. So looking at this palette, these are quite pretty colors. I do like that dark purple. I like that dark red. Let's go ahead and do a quick eye. We don't have to do anything too crazy. I'm going to go into the shade Eat Cake, which is going to be this shade over here. Oh, what is that about? Okay, it was my brush. Tap off the excess. I'm going to pop this in our transition shade area. Okay, and I feel like I've been doing a lot of mauve and pinks and whatnot, but whatever, we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna go in with this deep color because you know me, I really like super dark outer V's, and we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna pretend like I don't want to. I would love a black in this palette, but we're just gonna make do with this purple, which actually isn't as deep as it looks. And I just want to keep that on the outer portion here. And just blend those two together. And take that on the lower lash line. I do a very simple formation. I feel like I've been doing the same looks and placement for the last 6-7 looks I've been doing, but what can I say? If it works, it works. Now, do you see this? What is this? We've got like weird gappage where the shade kind of skipped, and then boom, it's over here. What is this? What's going on? It's just getting worse. Ooh, what is happening? Do you see what I'm talking about right there? Like, what is that? Do you see that? Okay. I don't know how to fix that. What are you doing? What are you doing over there? This is the urge to stop. This is the urge to scrap the whole video. Oh my God, what is happening? Not to mention this shade. I am only using this shade. Does it not look like this is this shade? I have only used this one. I didn't mistakenly go into the red shade. You can see that it has not been touched. What is happening? And how do we get it to stop? Okay. Let's just try to finish this. And it's like skipping. Okay, just keep on going, keep on swimming. Okay. We are going to go into this shade called Berry Glitzy because it's like a duochrome moment. Let's just be done with this because I'm upset. Like, what is happening, Milani? Oh, and you're scratchy and full of fallout. Lovely. Loverly. so that is a glittery eyeshadow, and it's all just flaking off. Y'all, I don't usually do this, but I don't like this. Pause. Okay, I'm back. So I don't like to do this. I very rarely give up. Very rarely. I feel like I've kind of gone into this already deciding that I don't like Milani. So I'm not super shocked that I gave up, but this is just not a really good formula. And honestly, from the little bit that I have researched and a little bit I have watched on Milani products, they don't have the best eyeshadow formula. It's not the worst by any stretch, but it ain't the best. I don't like when shades do what was happening there, like that skipping where it's more saturated in some areas but it won't stick in other areas. I don't like all that. I'm not gonna sit here and try to work a shadow in like I am kneading dough. I'm not doing all that, okay? I've been spoiled with my Beauty Bay palettes, with my blends palettes, with my Tres Leche palette, so I'm not about to do all that. So unfortunately for me and my wallet, thankfully this was on clearance, but it was still $11. This is going to be decluttered. Now, could I try again with a different primer, maybe a different brush, maybe a different application process? I could, but I'm not gonna. Garbage. The foundation, let's talk about the foundation. So as I sit here, the forehead is looking dry. Okay, we're dry. I'm seeing lines where I must have been frowning and the makeup has gathered. I'm not going to deduct that from the foundation. I really have been slacking on my skincare, so we are not going to deduct points on that. I do really like the color. I do like the feel. It feels very nice. I feel like it worked really well with the powders that I put on top. So we are going to go ahead and give her a try again when I am more hydrated and more exfoliated, okay? The concealer is really nice. I don't see any creping or gathering or what do we call it, creasing. I have lines under my eyes and I think they're actually quite cute. So I don't mind if it looks like you can see the lines on my eyes. Creasing to me means it's gathering in those lines and like pooling, you know, you see the product kind of squinch in there. I don't see any of that. I like the color of the concealer as well. I like the feel, the manipulation, all that stuff was great. So the complexion products can stay. They are nice. I do enjoy the hydrating primer. I feel like that's something that will get better the more I use it. And the pencil liner or lipstick, good lord, words. The Stay Put Matte Lip Crayon, again, just a really beautiful dark color. It's gonna fit beautifully in my collection. I love super dark lips, and that's why I picked this one up. And I mean, that wasn't even a question. I typically like Milani lip products because of the brand. If there are things that I have bought and enjoyed, it has been their lip products. Actually, their Statement lipstick in the shade Teddy Bear was my very first nude lip combo that I absolutely fell in love with. I don't know what liner I paired it with, but just that color, it was like a beautiful pinky beige. I really, really love that one. So, so we've got a few wins and we've got a few fails. Well, that failed. I am hoping this will do me better than the eyeshadow palette did. Even though we're not off to a great start with the tones, because bronzer, I mean, maybe, but so yeah. It's been me, Jasmine, the Buffet Witch, but you already know that. Oh, I didn't even tell you what I put on my eyes instead of that. I went ahead and did my Beauty Bay Berries look for my playlist, because that is the last palette that I needed to do. So that's what we did instead, and it's pretty. It's pretty. I did try to go very simple, very easy, because this berry palette for me can get away with me, or run away. I can run away with it. It can run away. It can be hard. Y'all, look, I have 2 brain cells right now, and 1.5 of them are focused on my son. So, but anyways, with that being said, guys, it's been me, Jasmine, the Buffet Witch. You already know that because we've been stumbling all over our words. That's what we do over here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead, drink some waters, take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.